A valid question has come up recently on our Ask Dr. Brown Facebook page, asking is it right to post things, memes, quotes that are going to be offensive to certain people and maybe drive them away from the gospel or make us seem insensitive? It's a fair question. And here's what happened yesterday on our page, on the Ask Dr. Brown page on Friday. There were two memes posted separately, independently by two different team members, and they happened to be on the same day. One highlighting the social disorder if someone can just say I'm trans and identify as a woman, and the other talking about perception not being reality with a dog in a cat's litter box saying it identified as a cat. Of course, they were meant in a lighthearted way as well, but do people get offended with those? What about those who really do struggle? The 0.02 or 0.03% of the population that struggles with gender identity. First, let me say, I realize these must be very intense struggles, very painful, very difficult struggles. I've addressed it over again whenever I've written on it or speak publicly. I always talk about the compassion we need to have towards those who struggle. And who in their right mind would ask for this? When a little 3 or 4-year-old child is struggling with gender identity, they're obviously not part of a larger gay activist or transgender activist movement. And I tell churches constantly, we need to have compassion and continue to pray for a better solution from the inside out, that people can be made whole. At the same time, we're confronted with a growing social madness. You have a declared war for years now on what's called the gender binary. You have people who identify as gender fluid and gender blur and say throw all the genders in a blender. You have young people who are at war with the gender binary and don't want to be identified as male or female. And in fact, she said, call me tractor. You have a guy on a college campus asking other students, if I identify as a woman, am I? Yes. What if I identify as Chinese? Well, if that's how you identify, yes. What if I identify as a child? Then yes, you are. What if I identify as 6'5"? Well, no, you're not. I mean, it's a kind of a social madness, but it goes beyond that. I get the emails. I get the calls from the people who are getting traumatized by these things, whose kids are getting traumatized by these things. And we know at least 20% of women say they've been sexually abused or raped over the course of their lives. And even if you have a transgender man who identifies as a woman, harmless. He doesn't mean that he's as uncomfortable as anybody. He goes in the ladies' room, ladies' fitting room. That's very traumatic to those people. What about them? They far outnumber those who identify as trans. And what about the very real issue that it opens the door to heterosexual predators? It's documented. We post videos about these things, news reports about them. And look, when a man dressed as a man goes to Target and says, can I use the ladies' room if I identify as a woman? Yes. What if the women have a problem? Well, then we'll deal with them. And you've got the whole world turned upside down. And now when you have, you've got people with body identity integrity disorder, they want a limb removed to find wholeness. You've got people who identify as part animal or all animal. Perception is not reality. And then you have the government launching war against whole states like North Carolina and saying, unless you allow men in women's bathrooms and locker rooms, you're gonna risk losing $4.5 billion of federal funding based on a complete bogus reading of Title IX. You've got schools where things are being pushed on students, and you're just going to use the pronoun the kid chooses and so on, and you're going to turn the world upside down for everybody else to cater to the struggles of a few. That's not right. And when we're being assaulted with this day and night, we're supposed to celebrate Bruce Jenner as Woman of the Year. That's not right. Now, on our Facebook page, 365,000 plus folks, the vast, vast majority of those going there are in agreement with our positions and in agreement with the things we're putting out. And those are the first ones we're speaking to. So we put these memes out. No, I didn't want to on the same day. It happened like that, and it could give a wrong impression that way. However, day and night, we're being assaulted with these issues in the culture. And there's pressure being put. You know, the NBA says we won't go to Charlotte unless you make bathrooms and locker rooms gender neutral. We won't go there for our All-Star game. That is complete cultural and moral insanity. And once we get into the perception as reality thing, we're really in trouble. So, in short, I truly apologize for any offense caused by the memes to those who are struggling and to allies of those who are struggling. Truly, we want to see you whole from the inside out. Truly, honestly. At the same time, we must speak up. We must speak out. There is such cultural insanity. We have to address it for the good of this generation and the generations to come. By God's grace, we'll continue to do that.